In October 1972, among the snow-capped peaks of the Andes, a group of strangers faced one of the most harrowing survival stories in human history. This is the true account of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, an ordeal that became known as the Miracle in the Andes. October 12, 1972. The Old Christians rugby team from Montevideo, Uruguay, prepares for a highly anticipated match in neighboring Chile. There is banter, laughter, and the joyful clamor of friends and family boarding a Fairchild FH-227D aircraft. 45 people, most in their teens and early 20s, never suspect that fate is about to test them to the very limits of human endurance. That evening, bad weather grounds their plane in Mendoza, Argentina, forcing them to wait, a decision that unwittingly aligns destiny with disaster. October 13, 1972. The skies have cleared enough for takeoff. The plane soars, gliding above the jagged Andes. But as the crew navigates the treacherous terrain, a critical miscalculation is made. Believing the worst has passed, they begin their descent too early. Suddenly, impact. Metal screams, snow and rock tear through the fuselage. Both wings shear off, the tail vanishes. The aircraft tumbles down the glacier, coming to a battered halt at 11,500 feet in a barren valley known as the Valley of Tears. 12 people perish in the crash or shortly after. The remainder, 33, are left sprawled in the bitter cold, surrounded by devastation. Isolation is immediate and absolute. No signs of civilization, no help. Night falls with lethal cold. Temperatures plummet below freezing. The world they knew has fallen into a white void. The survivors' first acts are frantic and instinctive, tending wounds, searching for food, scavenging the wreckage for shelter. Their home becomes the wrecked fuselage. They huddle for warmth and comfort, stunned yet united by a desperate hope for rescue. Days drift by. Rations, chocolate, wine, tiny scraps dwindle. They ration every crumb. Spirits lift at the faint hum of passing aircraft, who are sadly too high to spot the wreck, camouflaged in white snow. 8 days later, a crackle of radio brings a gut punch. Search efforts are called off. The outside world believes they are dead. As starvation gnaws and cold deepens, the survivors reach a dire crossroads: surrender to death or do the unthinkable. Bound by faith and friendship, but driven by necessity, they make a collective decision. To survive, they must feed on the bodies of those who have died. Haunted, anguished, but resolute, they begin to cut flesh from the frozen dead. It is an unthinkable choice, but one born from the raw instinct to live. Disaster follows disaster. On October 29, an avalanche slams into the wreckage as many sleep. Snow crashes through, burying the survivors trapped in darkness. 8 more perish that night. The rest dig with bloodied hands, struggling for breath, for life. When the blizzard passes, their ranks are further thinned, yet still hope persists. Winter clamps tighter. Frostbite, dehydration, and despair compete with the survivors' willpower. Yet the group finds meaning, reciting prayers, telling stories, caring for the weakest. The rugby background provides order, teams for tasks, discipline in rationing, and an unyielding sense of brotherhood. Snapshots of daily life: boiling snow for water, using aircraft insulation for warmth, converting debris into makeshift tools. The simple act of surviving becomes a daily victory. December 12, more than 2 months after the crash. With hope of rescue gone and food all but exhausted, 3 of the fittest, Nando Parado, Roberto Canessa, and Antonio Vicentin, volunteer for an audacious final gamble. Hike out, over the mountains, and seek help. They craft crude sleeping bags, bundle up in layers, and carry what little food they have left, meat from their fallen friends. The hike is brutal. Days of scaling near vertical slopes, gasping through thin air, freezing at night, battered by the elements. After 3 days, the Centene, exhausted and low on supplies, returns to the fuselage, so Canessa and Parado push on. They move beyond the snow line and, finally, on December 20th, stumble down to verdant valleys. Hope returns. At a roaring riverbank, they catch the attention of a Chilean shepherd. Words fail, so Parado scrawls a note. "I come from a plain that fell in the mountains." The shepherd throws bread and returns with help. The word spreads with the speed of a miracle. Helicopters roar up the valley, and rescuers arrive at the crash site on December 22nd. 6 are lifted that first evening. The next morning, amid quickly worsening weather, the last 8 stagger out of the fuselage for the final flight to safety. A world shocked by their survival is soon rocked again as the truth emerges. Tales of unimaginable choices made in the frozen darkness. The 16 survivors are greeted as heroes, but also scrutinized for the moral choices they made. Some family members struggle to accept the story of cannibalism, yet most understand. To do otherwise would have been to surrender to death. Each survivor carries a lifelong burden. Some become public speakers, others turn inward. Major figures stand out. Roberto Canessa becomes a respected pediatric cardiologist and motivational speaker, sharing wisdom gained from the ordeal. Nando Parado emerges as an author, businessman, and voice for resilience. Year after year, they reunite on December 22nd to remember not just how they survived, but whom they lost. The world cannot look away from their story. Books like Alive, the story of the Andes survivors, and Miracle in the Andes by Nando Parado become international bestsellers. The 1993 film adaptation, starring Ethan Hawke as Parado, brings the impossible journey to a new generation. In recent years, Society of the Snow, a film by J.A. Bayona, renews global fascination with perhaps the most profound tale of endurance and hope ever recorded. The survivor's journey becomes more than a news headline. It becomes a parable for the strength, ingenuity, and indomitable will of the human spirit. 5 decades later, The Miracle in the Andes stands as one of history's great lessons in unity, sacrifice, and survival. The 13 survivors who remain as of October 2025 continue to inspire the world, speaking of what it means to face the abyss and find a way through. Their story is not merely about death, it is about life, about hope thawed from a world of snow, about choosing each day to endure and to honor the memory of those who could not. From the carnage of the Valley of Tears emerged not just survivors, but living testaments to the undying strength of the human soul. In the icy silence of the Andes, 16 men emerged, forever changed. Their odyssey reminds us that no matter how dire, the search for life, for each other, never truly ends.